Did Tyron Woodley just admit to being paid off to lose and be knocked out by Jake Paul? Many people all around believe that this is very much the case, and so does former UFC champion Quentin Rampage Jackson. In an interview with Tyron Woodley, he asked him about this, and oh my God, Tyron Woodley probably says one of the dumbest things you could say when answering a question like this. Check it out.
I'm sorry to have to ask you this, but I know you probably signed an NDA, but blink twice if that Jake Paul fight was set up.
Blink twice.
I know you probably
I
can't
don't
say
never
nothing.
blink because I got these liberty eyes. I don't need much air, you know what I mean, to keep them open. A lot of people wonder that, but think about this. If I say, Rampage, I'm going to pay you $2 million, right? Let this dude beat you, what you going to do? You're going to feel disrespected, number one.
Yeah.
Right? That ain't enough money.
Yeah.
But I got paid in the Jake fights. For me to do that, I gotta be willing to walk away for good, and it gotta set me up for a while, at least not for life, but something like 20-something million where I can invest it and fall off in the shade, because that's what you would have to do. Would I do something like that? You would have to know me to know I'm too solid of a guy to even have somebody walk to me and ask me.
Yeah.
What happened to me is what was going to happen to him had he dropped those hands.
And, maybe in the moment, Tyron Woodley didn't realize it, but oh my God, he completely just shot himself in the foot. And the doubters and the people that think that it was staged, it was rigged, that he was paid off, they probably definitely believe it now with some of the things that he said. The problem when asked about a question like this is you just got to straight up nip it in the butt, keep it short and simple, and just say no. No, it wasn't. It was a legit knockout. I commend him for it. It was a great showing. And, I gave it my best. I gave it my all. But that's just how it planned out. This is literally like the O.J. Simpson thing. You know what I mean? I didn't do it. But if I did, this is how I would do it. So you're basically telling people that you would do it if you were given the right amount of money. And now everyone is just going to believe, oh, okay, well, he just gave you the right amount of money and you're never going to disclose. And that's why you haven't fought or haven't really done anything for the past few years. I get it, right? What he's saying makes sense. Yeah, like there's people out there that would be willing to fix a fight for the right amount of dollar. And he contradicted himself. That's a problem too. He said, for me to walk away good and for me to do that, I got to be set. And then for him just a few seconds later to say, me, I wouldn't do nothing like that. But you literally just said, if you paid me, enough money, I would be willing to do something like that. And don't get me wrong, I don't believe it was fixed. I don't think he was paid off. Yeah, I think he got paid a pretty penny, just like every other one of Jake Paul's opponents. They got paid a pretty penny, especially if, they had a decent name behind them. Yeah, Jake Paul's last opponent, he probably didn't make nowhere near as much money as like Tyron Woodley or Anderson Silva did, but that's because, they were a big part of the promotion because of their name, their fan base, and, where they come from, being former UFC champions. So, of course, Tyron Woodley was going to get paid a good amount of money to take on Jake Paul, or else he probably wouldn't have done it. But I just don't believe that it was fixed, that it was staged. I think it was a legit knockout, a legit loss. I think the first fight was a little bit more BS because Tyron Woodley didn't really let his hands go, whereas the second fight was a lot more realistic because he did let his hands go. He did take risks, and that's just what comes with, you taking risks, especially against a big puncher like Jake, who just wings those crazy overhand rights, is if you get caught, the ramifications of that are going to be big. So me personally, I don't believe it was fixed or he was paid off at all. But of course, a lot of people out there do, especially those who always think everything is scripted, every sport is scripted or rigged or whatever the case may be. We see a lot of people like that nowadays. So of course, people are going to think this was scripted or rigged or whatever, or he was paid off. And now him saying that kind of shoots himself in the foot because it does seem like I could see where they're coming from now, right? Before, I couldn't really see it. I was like, nah, Tyron Woodley is a, former UFC champion. There's no way he would take, any type of money. Like, there's no amount of money you could pay me to go in a ring with Jake Paul and get knocked out. You know what I mean? Even if you gave me hundreds of millions of dollars, there's just no way. My pride, my reputation, you know what I mean? Like, I would never sell myself like that for no dollar amount. And I thought Tyron Woodley was the same, but him making that statement really makes it seem like if you gave him the right amount of money, he would do it. And that's the big problem here. This is a big time topic, so I am seriously surprised that he wasn't prepared to answer a question like this because he's got to get it a lot. I'm sure there's all types of people DMing him asking him this question. I'm sure he's seen, you know, people throwing out this conspiracy all over the place with his name on it. So you would think that he would have a reasonable way to answer this question. And instead he says, you know, one of the worst things you could possibly say. You know what I mean? If you didn't really rig this fight, if you didn't really get paid off to lose or to get knocked out, you know, why would you say something like that? Because now it really makes it seem like you could have, and that it's a possibility. Whereas, you know, you should have completely dismissed the question and made it seem like, no, there's no way I would ever do something like that. But hey, I don't know, man. I'm not Tyron Woodley. I didn't see the contracts. I don't know what's going on. So hey, I'm still believing that it was a real genuine knockout. There was nobody being paid off or anything like that. But of course, after seeing this, I'm very interested to see what all of you guys think about this. Let me know in the comments down below. Do you think it was staged or rigged, or that Tyron Woodley was paid off? Or are you with me and still holding on and think that it was a real genuine knockout and there was really no foul play involved? But that's going to be it for today. As always, thank you all so much for your support, and I'll catch you in the next video.